days, it changes so much. I mean, it was looking really cold to start December for a little bit. Now it's looking to probably be on the opposite of that. We've seen those outlooks flip from chilly to warmer, and that's the way it looks. Once we get past this cold snap, you're probably going to get another warm up again in the longer range.
Yeah, you're so right, because I posted something about the Arctic sea ice today, and for this time of year, the Arctic sea ice is at a minimum all time. 2012 was the last time it was this few. And oftentimes you think, well, that means warm weather. Well, actually it means the opposite sometimes, because when it's warm in the Arctic air can get displaced south quicker. But as you mentioned, there's sharp troughs and sharp ridges that develop because the jet stream gets really, this is going to sound weird, gets really kinky. It gets a lot of up and down motion to it when there's warming up there. And so you can either be really cold, Tim, or you can be super warm.
Right.
That's the thing. And for us as meteorologists, I don't like to forecast one way or the other, because the difference between being in the ridge and the trough could be just like 1,000 miles. And for a long-range forecast, that's not that big of a difference, honestly, when you're looking at global patterns.
Sure. I mean, it could set up that you get Arctic air that makes it down to Memphis, but we're on the ridge side here, and we stay sizzling in the 60s or something like that. And that happens many times. And how many winters have we had it recently where Nashville's been getting all these snow events and not a flake? And this is, just the way it is as a Carolina snow lover. You have to be ready to get hurt again sometimes, and there's nothing on the horizon right now, I would say.
Yeah, the dreaded southeast ridge, and every snow lover dreads that term. But it does seem like that has been a persistent feature, especially in La Nina winters, by the way. The southeast ridge, if it nudges a little, it's like the Bermuda High in the summer. If it moves a little east or west, it's like the difference between you have winter weather or is it spring. And as you mentioned, these first cold shots look like they go into the middle of the country, not the East Coast, and that means we're going to stay pretty warm. And when you look at some of those long-range Climate Prediction Center forecasts, it's cold in the middle and northern part of the country, but the southeast kind of gets cooked by the southeast ridge. So I think, honestly, Tim, it's one of those things, like, it's going to make December pretty wild. It's going to be all over the place, but it's also why you probably should pump the brakes on some of those long-range forecasts when you see them on social media.
Yeah, never get too high or low with those longer range forecasts, because they're prone to changes. But hey, just think, you're saving money on the heat. You can buy an extra nice Christmas present.
Absolutely.
Figure that out.
All right, I think we're almost out of time here. Tomorrow we'll talk more about travel, obviously, as tomorrow we'll be in the thick of it. We'll probably be tracking storms probably by this time tomorrow, Tim. Take care, everybody. We'll see you back here tomorrow. If you are traveling early, safe travels. If not, tune in tomorrow, and Tim and I will lead you through the weather as we get ready for the holidays, I should say. Stick around. We've got more news coming up.
Thanks, everyone, for joining us here on WCNC Plus inside the Impact Studio. We just got the verdict in the last 30 minutes or so from the Scott Brooks murder trial. Both men convicted of a life in prison, found guilty for the death of Scott Brooks. And his twin brother spoke a little bit earlier today, just moments ago, really, about not only the verdict, but the type of man that Scott Brooks was, what he was doing that morning. So we'll play this press conference for you before we go into some of the timeline and bring back to memory some of the things that we've seen over the last couple of years since the trial started. We'll go to this now.
Cup's full, and nothing I say or do is going to bring my brother back, but we do have justice for him, and that's a long time coming, and I certainly hope this sends a message to the public that the justice system does work, and let's make it work and keep these guys off the street from harming anybody else. And I just hope that everyone will have a good Thanksgiving and just take this in memory of my brother, because he was larger than life to me and larger than life to a lot of other people. And his faith showed through everything that he did. No matter what he did, whether he's at work, whether he's at church, whether he's on the street, he always had a kind word to anybody, and he would share his faith with anybody. And I think that's the most important thing, is having faith in a world that we live in now.
This was a very long trial. What helped give you the strength every day to be here in the courtroom and, to go through this entire trial and everything with your family?
Simple. Just the good Lord above. He's given us all strength, to get by in such trying times. Trying to be good is not easy. It's really not. But giving back is something that you can't replace, and you don't know from day to day, what's going to happen to you or what's going to happen to your family. You just have to keep the faith and be strong.
David, can I ask you something real quick?
Sure.
It's kind of a two-part question. Mr. Connors was defiant, even as the judge was trying to sentence them. And as he was walking out, he said something to you. I'd like to know what you thought of what he said to you. How did you respond? And then the second part of my question is finding it somewhere within to be able to forgive, as you did during your victim impact statement.
As he was leaving the courtroom, he looked at me and he told me, he said, "I didn't kill your brother." Well, a man has already been sentenced to life without parole. He knows what he did. And as far as what I think about it, I looked at him and I said, "I still forgive you." And I still feel that way right now. And, we have to, because we have to go on. Because a lot of things will build up on it and it will gnaw at you until the day you die. But you have to let it go, and you have to live your life as you see fit, trying to be the best. I try to be the best husband, try to be the best father that I possibly can to my wife and kids, and try to keep a business open. Sure, we're old school, but we still try to do good for the community and still offer a good product. Still got the best hamburger in Charlotte.
The judge seemed particularly sympathetic with you. He mentioned that his dad is also a twin. What did you think of that reaction from the judge?
That was a surprise that almost took me by surprise. I'm not going to lie to you, I teared up. And it's something to be sympathetic towards a person that lost a brother or a sister, but to someone that's lost a twin and can understand what it is to lose a twin, and that is part of your soul, and you're losing part of your soul. But just to hear that from the judge was very, very comforting to me and my family.
David, how do you and your family move on from here? What does that look like? I know you said you got justice, but where do y'all go from here?
We're just gonna take the rest of this week off and give thanks just like everyone else is. But we're no different from anybody else, and we know we have to go on, and we're all going to go on. I've got so much support between my family and the community, especially the NODA community. No, I'm not going to leave. I'll be right back next Monday and just can't wait to wait on everyone.
How do you want your brother to be remembered other than this trial? Since this has gotten so much attention, what do you want people in the community to remember the most about him?
You know, I'm sure everyone's seen the video of what my brother did. I hadn't said anything about this before, but my daughter, of course, she's the manager over there. She was right behind my brother coming to work that morning. Out of everything my brother did, he knew that. And he knew that he was going to have to calm this situation and do something. And at the very, very last minute, you saw what he did. He lost his life because he loved his family. And he did not want anything to happen to my daughter. And that's just kind of man my brother was. And I don't think there's a whole lot else I can say about that.
I just have one more question. The jury, as Hunter pointed out to me, did not hear the part about their prior criminal history. Mm-hmm. But you could tell, what did you see on their face when the DA was going through that list and then the judge went through that list? What did you see on their face?
It was just symptomatic with them. I mean, it's absolutely, they didn't care about, what they were hearing. They knew what they did. And, it was just something that they're a part of this system, but the wrong part of the system. And it's just something that they've got the rest of their lives to think about.
You said the jurors.
Yeah, did you see the jury did you see the jury's face when they were reading through their prior
I'm sorry.
criminal history?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
What did you see, or any of y'all? What did you see on their face when because that's not anything. They were just hearing that for the first time.
They were, but they were just privy to so much information, just like we were before the trial. You don't want any information like that to get out. But I saw the look on their faces, and I think they knew from that point that they made the right decision.
How relieved are you that this was such a quick verdict? How relieved are you that the jury came back so quickly for you all?
Well, when they came back and they had 3 or 4 questions, I said, well, maybe this is going to last longer than what we think. But when they got all their ducks in a row or their cards in a row and understood everything that was in front of them, they made a fair and impartial decision and they made the right one.
David, thank you. Thank you, entire family.
Thank you all. Appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Some emotional comments, obviously, from Mr. Brooks and his family standing alongside of him. Had not heard him talk about so candidly, obviously, the actions from Scott Brooks that morning, protecting his daughter. And, of course, he adding to that, they didn't have much else to say, saying that the actions spoke for themselves that morning. We do want to go through some of the biggest events when the trial started. So go with me here as we go through some of this information. Now, on November 13th, which is really when the heart of the trial started, we had Detective Blair Fitch testify about those moments. And she had kind of talked about that she was with CMPD. She processed the interior of the Brooks Sandwich House, and she told jurors that day that the business showed no signs of a break-in or robbery, and more than $3,000 was still inside. Very unusual. Scott Brooks was shot and killed outside of the restaurant in the early morning hours of December 19th, 2019, and that was set in stone, obviously, by Detective Blair Fitch and her testimony on the 13th of November. Now, there were no eyewitnesses. Investigators say they relied on cell phone tower data, and that led them to a woman identified as the mother of Terry Conner's child. Her DNA was found on a bullet casing at the scene. Her home was then searched. No evidence was recovered from that home. There was another home associated, though, with Conner that was searched, apparently, and there they found several other bullet casings in a bag behind a refrigerator, leading them to that evidence. So, yes. Now, moving on to the body camera footage that was presented in court on the 13th as well. So we saw body camera video following the search warrant. Investigators testifying that day that they found dozens of personal items belonging to Staples in the home. That included mail, some documents, even a wedding album. Investigators say the home was furnished. It had Staples' clothes in it and other items that indicated that that was the home that he lived in, despite his ID having a different address. So investigators had to do their work, obviously, to not only find the residence, but obviously put the evidence and the pieces together. They found ammunition, 2 commercial money counters, a fake police badge, zip ties, and black duct tape. The defense says at the end that no DNA evidence actually connects this crime to the Brooks Sandwich House murder case. So some interesting revelations on the 13th. We fast forward then to the 17th of November when the prosecution calls a DNA expert. And so the prosecution, they called several DNA experts actually who testified that it was likely that Terry Conner's DNA was found on bullet shell casings recovered from the December 2019 shooting death of Scott Brooks. Then adult correction officers, they took the stand that day, testifying about their roles in probation and parole, describing how offenders are required to provide contact information, including phone numbers and addresses. Now, this goes back to both Connors and Staples having prior arrests and records with law enforcement as well. So that's what that goes to. Both Stephen Staples and Terry Conner provided phone numbers and addresses of family members or partners as contacts during their probation time. One officer actually recalled that Stephen Staples, he was not given an address and efforts to search for him, but defense attorneys pointed out that day that doesn't automatically mean that a violation occurred. So there was some squabbling about that incident that kind of precluded itself in court. So that's what happened on the 17th. We move now to the next day on the 18th. The mother of the defendant, Terry Conner's child, says that he admitted to her that he killed a man at a Noda restaurant in December of 2019. Conner, along with Stephen Staples, they're both accused, of course, of killing Brooks. Now, she says she met Terry in 2019 and she began pregnant soon after they met. She says Terry had an extremely close relationship with Stephen Staples, the other defendant in this case. Her Rock Hill home then was searched by police in March of 2020. She gave police DNA, access to her phone, and agreed to answer questions, which is part of that interrogation that was shown to the jury in the court. She testified that day that she was not as forthcoming with information at first to police because she didn't want anything bad to happen to Conner, obviously relating back to the relationship that they both had. In that specific interview, she said that Conner told her he killed a man at the Noda restaurant and didn't want to give up any money and then got rid of the gun. She says to detectives later that she realized after seeing the news coverage of Scott Brooks' death that it was connected to what Conner told her. Detectives then said that her DNA was found on the bullet casing at the Brooks scene. She insisted she was never at the restaurant and was not with Conner that morning. Now on the 20th, digital forensic experts took the stand that Thursday and testified about cell phone data from phones that were actually linked to people associated with Terry Conner and Stephen Staples. One number showed interactions between the woman that Terry Conner shares a child with and at least 4 different numbers. One was saved as Terry and showed more than 1,300 interactions between October of 2019 through December 8th of 2019, just one day before the actual shooting. A new number that appeared on December 9th, the day that Scott Brooks was killed, continued through December 18th of 2019, and it was saved under TJ. 2 more new numbers saved under TJ showed interactions in 2020. The state also presented a chart showing multiple numbers saved as husband and communications between those numbers and the wife of co-defendant Stephen Staples spanning from 2019 to 2020. The jury then was given packets of data retrieved from those phones to go over and review. The final phase of this, just last Friday, we take you back to that. The trial moved into its final phase, and Jessie Pierre, she broke those developments for us. We're going to listen in to what happened on Friday.
In court, Dr. James Lozano, a forensic pathologist who performed Scott Brooks' autopsy, was the last witness to take the stand in the murder trial against Steven Staples and Terry Conner. The jury saw photos of Brooks' clothing and diagrams noting his injuries. Dr. Lozano explained that the bullet that entered the front of Brooks' chest traveled downward to his lower back, lodging near his hip bone, is the shot that killed him. Brooks also suffered a gunshot wound to the hand, and a bullet grazed his leg. Dr. Lozano says the injuries were consistent with a .45 caliber bullet.
Do you have an opinion as to how long it would have taken Mr. Scott Brooks to die from this wound?
Minutes.
Do you have an opinion as to how long Scott could have maintained conscious after receiving that injury?
30 seconds to a couple of minutes at most.
And I believe you mentioned this, but do you have an opinion as to whether Mr. Scott Brooks experienced pain when he was shot and killed on December 9th, 2019?
I believe he would have experienced pain, yes.
Both defendants declined to testify, and their attorneys will not present any evidence during this trial. Now, the rest of the afternoon was spent going over the legal instruction that the jury will receive on Monday. And come Monday for closing arguments, we will be there at 9 a.m. In Uptown, Jesse Pierre, WCNC Charlotte.
So just to wrap this for everybody that just watched or started to watch from home, we did get a guilty verdict in the Scott Brooks murder trial for both men accused in killing Scott Brooks, of course, at the Noda restaurant in 2019. It sounds like life in prison without the possibility of parole for both men, Terry Connors and the other gentleman that whose name escapes me at this moment. But of course, Jesse Pierre has had the latest for us, and we'll have more tonight on WCNC Charlotte at 11. We did play for you the press conference after the trial wrapped up from the twin brother, Mr. David Brooks, of course, having some very emotional things to say. So if you missed that, we'll have that tonight for you, and right here on WCNC Plus if you'd like to look back at our show. We're going to take a quick 2-minute break and be back right after this. And we're back after those 2 minutes. We do have a live situation going on right now, an actual meeting, I should say, instead of a situation. The city manager's report is happening inside Charlotte City Council, this meeting, so we'll go to this right now.
And so if there's a desire by Councilmember Driggs to bifurcate those two, it would require a substitute motion.
Mm-hmm. Okay. which is what I made.
Yeah, I just wanted to know if those, because my motion was about approving and deferring, and his was about whether or not we use this process or if we separate it. Like if he had said, I move that we approve these 7 and defer only this one, then I could see that being a substitute.
That is what I said.
Excuse me, but what I'm asking is, his question was, what I heard his motion to be was not about which ones we approve or defer. It was about whether or not we could split them up as a motion in general, and whether council wanted to do that, as he mentioned before, separate and apart from what the actual approval or deferral outcome would be. So I just wanted to be sure that those two could be connected.
Understood. All right, I think we're clear on that issue right now. So, okay.
So are we clear, just Madam Mayor, that the substitute motion in the second is now what we're discussing?
Correct.
Currently,
Right.
that's where the
Right.
discussion is sitting.
May I repeat, the substitute motion is that we approve the ones recommended for approval with this motion, and that we separate the ones for separate action that are on the deferred list.
All right. Okay. We have a motion for that. Is there, and I think Mr. Peacock second. And so now we'll open the floor for the discussion.
Okay, you ready to vote?
And
Call the question.
okay, so if we have no further discussion, we have a substitute motion on the floor, and that motion should be followed as our first vote. And so with that, all in favor of the motion made by Mr. Driggs, please raise your, second by Mr. Peacock, please raise your hands.
Figures.
1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4, so the motion does not carry. Thank you. All right, what is the council's plan for the next step?
We have the original motion.
The original motion? So if we can go through that original motion, Ms. Johnson asked to be recognized. Ms. Johnson?
I just wanted it to be clear that if we don't vote on these last 7 that we're deferring, then there is a plan. We can't say that we're going to operate blindly. It's the way we're operating through right now. And that's following the 2040 plan. So if we defer it for 90 days, I don't want the talking point or the soundbite to be that we're harming these neighborhoods where we're not adopting the plans. There's more harm, in my opinion, to move forward than there is to take a more thoughtful approach. So I don't want the talking point or the soundbite to be that there's some inequitable harm and they're left behind, because that's not what we're doing. We're trying to include them and include their voices. I think that's very clear for the record. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Mayfield, and then we'll go for the motion.
So, question for clarification, because for the last one, you identified if anyone supported, but what I did not hear is to close out the vote.
Opposition.
Anyone opposed? So we did not raise our hands on that. You counted for it, and we just moved forward. Do we not need to have yays and nays?
Well, we certainly can, but it would take 6 people to do the vote, and I think that I was just trying to make sure that that happened.
And I appreciate that, Mayor. So I was just clarifying for the clerk's office that since there was only 4, then it's automatically doesn't move forward. But did we need to have those in opposition on record for your records? Because we like to ask you for records and want information back from you, so I just want to make sure for your office that you have what you need.
We can certainly ask Ms. Mayfield, thank you. You're really helping me tonight after a rather long day. So let's, all of those, when we had the motion for those, so there were people, if you decided not to support the substitute motion, please raise your hand if you have.
Any opposed?
Any opposed, right?
For the substitute motion?
Substitute.
Yeah,
Yes.
substitute motion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, got it? Thank
That's
you.
right.
Thanks very much, Ms. Mayfield, always following and helping me out. Okay.
So now we go back to the original motion.
We go back to the, right, that's, I think, a good idea.
Yeah, so I guess we just called the question.
I had a comment.
Miss.
I hadn't spoken on this matter.
Okay,
so.
that is true, you have not.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. My question, and I'm not sure, Madam Attorney, so The motion is that we pass these 7 that are in front of us, and there's a deferral until the end of March. Because there is a deferral specifically for these 7, that precludes us from having any of those 7 come back before us before the end of March without taking a series of votes, right? Because what I'm trying to get to is, we've heard Councilmember Graham speak about some of the area plans in his district. If, let's just say, for example, just as an example, if West Inner is ready to if the community feels like they're ready to move forward, perhaps at the end of January or beginning of February, what would preclude us from taking an action to vote to approve that particular area plan before the end of March? That's what I'm trying to get to.
Staff could bring it back before you, any of the 7 that you would be moving to defer, and essentially council would just reverse its current action and decide to act earlier than March 23rd, provided that you had these sufficient votes to move forward. One could say no later, instead of until, it could be no later than. That's an option as well, but again, staff could bring it back for your consideration before that time, and you would just simply vote to move forward on those plans.
Okay. And perhaps, motion maker, if we could make a friendly amendment to say no later than March 23rd?
I'll accept.
Okay. And that's just as the second on that motion, I'll second that. My concern is, and certainly I want us to move forward. I know you guys have done a tremendous amount of work. There's been a tremendous amount of community engagement, absolutely within District 1. My concern is, the entire west side and effectively the entire north side does not have an area plan that's moving forward at all. And I feel that presents some potential inequities, especially as we move forward with 3 additional zoning meetings in between now and March 23rd. That's a lot of decisions and a lot of discussions that won't be framed the same way as other parts of our city, which is a concern that I brought up, I believe, a couple of meetings ago. And we talk a lot here about unintended consequences, whether they're myths, whether they're not myths. I don't know if we've figured that out, but I do believe that this could potentially bring some challenges to those areas, specifically on the west side and the north side, that are not included at all. And the work that's been done over the last several months will not be included in those decisions over the next 4 really zoning meetings that will occur in December, January, February, and March. So that's my concern. I've voiced that before. I do want some of these area plans to move on because they are ready, and I would like to see them have that level of protection and that level of perspective as we make these land use decisions. But that's just a looming concern that I do have, and I think it's a real concern, and we just need to be mindful of that. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Ms. Mayfield.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. As we're trying to work through transparency on this, I do not discount the work the staff has done, even though I have asked us to break this up. When we look at what staff presented to us regarding the community area plans and the breakdown, since we're going to talk about the West Inner, of which the income median household range in the West Inner geography is between $17,685 and $80,714, while the citywide range is $18,897 up to $250,001. So to give the impression that, well, we don't want to move too fast in these areas that have been identified for defer, we have to acknowledge and recognize that as a elected body, not just this body, for many years and generations of bodies, that areas of our community have not had the investment, the education, or the alignment that other areas have. So in the recommendation that Dr. Watlington has identified for tonight under approve as well as defer, you see areas that have had a greater opportunity over generations. We have areas in our city that look exactly the same as they did 45, 50 years ago. So to say, well, we need to hurry up and we need to approve this plan for all because they're not going to get any work done in this area if we don't have a plan approved. Okay, well, let's stop lying because they ain't getting any work done in the last 35 years anyway.
All right, folks, we're going to take a quick 2-minute break and we'll come back to the Charlotte City Council meeting as it goes on. See you in 2 minutes. And we're back, folks. We're going to go back to the city manager's update at the Charlotte City Council meeting right now.
We all have now. I would gladly start just shooting all y'all through Facebook, Instagram, or whatever way you want, all the information that we receive so that you can start looking through it for yourselves. But ultimately, we're the ones that's elected to do the work and try to dig in and ask the questions. But when we have community members that not only show up to share their concerns, but email us as a council and email us individually with the exact same comments that they had 8 months ago. That means someone's not listening, or we're listening, but your voice isn't powerful enough for us to move forward.
Thank you, Ms. Mayfield. Now, I believe that we have ready to vote.
Yes.
We have an item on. Madam Clerk, can you read again what the recommended, what the motion was?
I can if you want.
All right, Ms. Watlington, would you please?
I move to adopt the following community area plans with the proposed changes. A, E, G, H, I, J, K. Again, that's A, East Inner, E, Northeast Inner, G, South Inner, H, South Middle, I, South Outer, J, Southwest Middle, K, Southwest Outer. And to defer action on the following community area plans: B, C, D, F, L, M, N, until no later than March 23rd, 2026 council meeting. Again, that's B, East Middle and Outer, C, North Inner, D, North Middle and Outer, F, Northeast Middle and Outer, L, West Inner, M, West Middle, and N, West Outer.
Thank you. Ms. Brown, I slipped over and did not recognize you, and I think that you wanted to make a statement.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. It's okay. We're a piece of work tonight, so I get it. I understand. Totally. But,
It's been a job.
Yes, ma'am. I appreciate you very much. So I really want to say, we really do need to look at, there's a lot of people watching. And I know Mr. Driggs, you like to go below the belt sometimes, so, I don't play them. But anyway, perception is everything. You say we work hard to get the zoning approved. That is true. Now, you should have known that I was going to address that. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how hard we work. People do not care what we know unless they know we care. That's important, okay? That's number one. Number two, there is nothing wrong with taking our time. We got a lot of time with this new council coming in. They won the election so they can do the work just like all of us have done the work up here. We have to make sure that we're reaching every person we need to reach by all means necessary. And can each one of us up here collectively and individually say we've done that? I haven't. I'm a truth teller. There's more work to be done because there's 150,000 plus people in my district. There's no way I can reach all of them. But I got amazing leaders that are out here representing, that are willing to show up to make sure that their voice can be echoed in the places that I might not be able to reach. And that's a real statement that can't be taken from me or retracted. That's it, with a period, not a comma. And so at the end of the day, I want to vote to delay it and slow while I'm in this seat. To do what we need to do for the entire community, not just parts of the city. Some parts are flourishing and growing. Some left behind need more work. And that's where I'm at as the District 3 representative that was selected by all of District 3 for 2023 to 2025. That's where I'm at.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, so I believe that we have the motion on the floor. All in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. 3, 4, 5, 6.
Is everyone, it's unanimous.
That's
Any opposed?
Any opposed? Mr. Graham is in opposition.
Good job,
Thank
Dr.
you very
Watson,
much.
on that.
All right.
It's going to be like this.
Good work, guys.
Work. That's hard work.
Next thing that I want to say is
Madam Mayor, if I may, Dr. Watlington, I just wanted to verify, was there another motion that you were intending to consider?
No, I'm good, and I can bring this to you if you like.
You need,
She did, A&B.
Monica's saying something.
no, we need the,
We have to
we
adopt.
need the motion too.
Yes.
I do
Oh,
have
here
two.
I have
My
it.
bad.
Yeah.
I got
Forgive me.
So Monica, do you need anything else?
Yes.
Yes, there's one more motion just to make sure we're all.
Yeah.
Apologies.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Yep, I've got another motion. And it reads, I move to adopt the revised policy map to include the community area plans that were approved tonight.
Second.
And those were, thank you, Mr. Driggs, those were A, E, G, H, I, J, and K.
Second.
There's a motion, and I think that we already had a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Please raise your hand. Okay. Anyone in opposition? None, no, noted. So thank you very much.
Good job.
All right, so the next item on our agenda,
Mayor, I move for
Yeah, that was
approval.
unanimous, right? Everybody
Action.
voted yes?
I'm sorry.
Everybody voted yes? Yeah.
Yes.
Mayor, I move for approval actions A and B.
All right, we're on the bridges, I believe. Bridges. Item 11. Let's go to item 11.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Anyone opposed? Anyone opposed? I want to make sure. All right, the next item is item 12. Is there a motion to approve a contract with Motorola Solutions to provide, implement, and maintain drones and related systems for the drone? I'm sorry.
May I understand that there are speakers?
There were speakers that we never heard from on the
Yes, thank you.
On the what?
When we were having the public speaking time, we missed a person who has been sitting here and watching us the entire time. So we want to repair that. So thank you. If you would be able to come to the podium.
Okay. What?
Yes, Mayor.
She is.
These three people.
Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you. You have a 2 minutes, okay. If you would give us your name so that we can make sure that we all understand who you are.
Good evening. My name is Donna Elisa Schmid. I live at 9200 University City Boulevard. I'm a 20-year-old education major at UNC Charlotte and teach beginner English as a second language classes to adults in this city. I've been working with my students for over 4 months and have gotten to know them extremely well. They are kind, hardworking, funny people who pay out of their own pocket to come to my English classes after long shifts to learn to talk to their neighbors and better give back to the community they call home. On Wednesday, November 12th, it was announced that immigration enforcement would come to our city. That evening and the following day, only 2 of my students showed up. That Saturday, immigration enforcement parked their unmarked vans directly in front of my school. Since then, due to the frequent reports of immigration officers stopping and arresting people solely based on their appearance and repeatedly violating their rights, my students have been scared to leave their house, saying they feel like they're living in a horror movie. They don't feel safe going to the English classes they work so hard for, going to jobs that feed their families and pay taxes, buying groceries, or taking their kids to school. These places are not where you find the worst of the worst criminals that the officers claimed they came to Charlotte for. Yet they know if they leave their house, they will be treated like criminals, which breaks my heart. I also have a lot of Latino friends who have student visas or are citizens. They've also been afraid to leave their home due to cases of racial profiling, such as Viri Aceitunos, who was a citizen. Additionally, the public school I intern at is missing seats where my Latino students usually sit. The violation of constitutional rights, including unnecessary violence and dehumanizing manners of immigration officers towards this targeted group of people, is causing them to hide at their homes. I urge this council to let communities know that we support our neighbors by releasing a statement in Spanish and English condoning the fear and havoc masked federal officers have brought on our city. I also propose providing Know Your Rights materials on the council's website, accompanying other community resources to create a safe Charlotte. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And our apologies for not getting you. It was rather a lot of things going on. So if you want to join the city council anytime, I'm sure there's another time that you can come and express your concerns, and we appreciate you. Thank you so very much. Okay. So now we're going to move to the business section of our agenda. Item 12, is there a motion to approve a contract with Motorola Solutions, Inc. to provide, implement, and maintain drones and related systems for the drones as first responder programs for a term of 5 years, authorizing the manager to renew the contractor up to 1 5-year term with possible price adjustments, authorizing the city manager to negotiate and execute and purchase such additional software licenses, services, and those et cetera items required to maintain the system as long as the city is using the system. So with that, do we have a motion?
Mayor, I make a motion. I make a motion to accept items A, B, C, D, and E.
Second. All right, we have a motion on A, B, C, and D for the business section of our agenda. I just want to make
Mayor, what number are we on? Number 12?
12.
Thank you.
Item 12. So we have a motion on the floor, on the dais. All in favor of the motion, please raise your hands. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anyone opposed?
Anyone opposed?
All right, 2 opposed, so that passes. Thank you very much. All right, the next item that includes the accepting of the funding as well. The next item is item 13, which is register and nomination grants for McCrory Heights and Oaklawn Park. Sean, Langley. Where are you, Sean? Oh, there you are. Don't
Be careful, that's the second person.
Sorry.
They did, we did.
Good to see you. Good to see you, but that was too fast. I know. So, is there, let me start with the motion as well as your, after you.
Move A and B.
Second.
We have a motion to accept a grant in the amount of $21,500 from the U.S. Department of Interior for National Register nominations for McCrory Heights and Oaklawn Park. And Sean, please.
Thank you. So just wanted to briefly thank you all for being here and also for hearing about why we want McCrory Heights to be recognized as on the National Historic Registry, as well as Oaklawn Park. McCrory Heights is one of the most iconic historically black neighborhoods in all of America. Every single home has a storied history. McCrory Heights was home to educators, including 5 college presidents, civil rights lawyers, medical doctors, theologians, that all collectively worked to dismantle the walls of segregation in public spaces here in Charlotte. Notable women like Miss Dorothy Count Scoggins' family lived in McCrory Heights and was one of the first African Americans to integrate an all-white Charlotte-Mecklenburg school system. She endured racial harassment. Prolific writer James Baldwin was so moved by her activism and courage, he left Europe and fled back to the United States to write about the plight of African Americans. That is just one example among many. While these people and countless others made significant strides in their own respective way, they were all part of the McCrory Heights community. Their advancements were part of a larger cause that took place in these modest, uniquely designed mid-century homes. This neighborhood's significance is attributable to people and places, which is why so many residents are advocating for the national designation. But our historic neighborhood has faced adversity and is threatening our livelihood in the past as well as in the present. Currently, NCDOT is planning to expand toll lanes on I-77, which would encroach in on our community. Plan A, brought forth by NCDOT, would see 6 homes in our neighborhood and over 80 homes along this 11-mile stretch. Plan B, an elevated highway, also referred to as an adequated double-decker highway, would also do unjust harm to our neighborhood. But other progressive cities have looked and done research on this and have found other equitable ways to do this without causing unnecessary harm. So both plans presented do not align with our neighborhood, do not align with the residents that live up and down this 11-mile stretch. But they also don't align with your Strategic Energy Action Plan, which causes to reduce greenhouse gases by 72% by 2035. So both options destroy our quality of life, they decrease our property value, and cause unnecessary harm to Oaklawn Park, to McCrory Heights, to Wesley Heights, to West Boulevard, to Clanton Park, to Nations Ford, and countless other neighborhoods. So if this body is really serious about helping us become on the National Historic Designation, we also can't also have at the same time NCDOT unjustly causing harm to our neighborhood. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. I believe you've had a number of meetings.
We have.
You're going to continue to have those meetings, and we are going to work with you as much as we can.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. The next item that we have, I'm sorry, Ms. Johnson, you want to say?
Yeah, I did have a question. So will this National Registry nomination or any type of designation prevent eminent domain or, okay, all right, okay.
No. This is one
It's a
thing,
grant,
but the
okay.
state transportation people.
Okay. That's all.
Is that a question?
I was asking the mayor, unless you know, have a different answer.
So it does provide us with certain statutes and laws that make it harder for NCDOT to demolish homes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Okay, so the next item that we have, we got to vote. Oh, my gosh,
It's a
yeah.
House rep.
Okay, all in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. Anyone in opposition? Anyone in opposition?
No.
Okay, so we're good on that one. So the next item is item 15, a motion to adopt the... 14 is a motion to approve $25 million in capital improvements for the NASCAR Hall of Fame, approve the interlocal agreement to reimburse the Charlotte Regional Visitors Authority for an amount up to $1.3 million for the NASCAR Hall of Fame design, development, and phase costs, adopt a budget ordinance appropriating the same amount and proceeds for the...
Approve A, B, and C.
We have a motion to approve A, B, and C, and a second. Is there any discussion? Mr. Graham?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just want to inform the public and the council that this item has gone through the Economic Development Committee at least on 2 occasions. I think it came out with a 5-0 vote. This will be the first time that there'll be any major improvement or enhancement to the NASCAR Hall of Fame since its opening. Obviously, there is much work that needs to be done. There are representatives from the Hall of Fame and the CRVA with us tonight. I urge approval. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Driggs.
So I agree, and just want to mention that I had some conversations, Steve, and good evening to you, and basically satisfied myself that the cash flows that are projected can service this debt, because I think that's something from the past that we want to be comfortable with, and I'm satisfied that we do have the capacity, and therefore I will join Mr. Graham in supporting this.
Thank you. Ms. Mayfield, did you have your comment?
Yes, Madam
please?
Mayor. So I have had the pleasure to serve on the NASCAR Hall of Fame board for 7+ years at this point. And what I can share, which it is evident in the proposal, but the board has been very fiscally conservative for a number of years, and with this particular request of improvement, knowing that these come for a capital improvement and those dollars had already been identified through our current source, I completely support us moving forward, but I do want to make sure that full council and community are aware that the NASCAR Hall of Fame has been extremely conservative. At the same time, hotel and motel night stays that have increased, but for me, something that's extremely important is the number of youth engagement events that have been created through this board over the last 5 to 7 years that directly outreach to young women as well as young men to be engaged and not only learn about NASCAR, but learn the business of NASCAR and what that has opened. So I just wanted to share for those. Please take the time, go to the NASCAR Hall of Fame website. All of the information is available. Tune in, because the fiscal responsibility, because I've had the opportunity this last term to serve alongside of my colleague, Councilmember Brown, to be a part of the meetings and to share and see how we show up in community and throughout diverse community, because we are NASCAR for all. So when we think about the work that we have done together, I am proud to support this recommendation this evening. Mayor.
All right, Ms. Brown.
Thank you so much, Madam Mayor, and thank you for appointing me to that board to sit alongside Councilmember Mayfield. I learned a lot. They got a lot of outfits out there in the foyer area that I like to wear. Actually, could I get some of them things out of the cages? But on a more serious note, what Councilmember Mayfield said, I learned so much about the NASCAR Hall of Fame and what they do and how they give back and they pour into the community. So it's been amazing to sit on the board and to learn about the great works that they do and how they dwindle their funds down into the community to people that look like me, and that matters to me. And so I'm happy that I was able to serve on that board and see how they poured into our youth and to make the community a better place for all people, like Councilmember Mayfield said. So, of course, it's a pleasure not only to sit on the board, but to see the work that they do, the time that they put in, the commitment that they've made, and just to see the outreach. And so I support this. for the reasons that I stated.
Well, thank you so much, Ms. Brown. And thank you, we see the folks up in the, I can't even see it all, everybody.
chambers,
So
yeah.
we're glad to have you guys. Thank you so much for the work that you've done. So let's go to our vote.
Got to vote.
Let's go ahead and vote. All in favor of the motion to approve, say, is there anyone in opposition? No. Ms. Johnson, are you in opposition?
Put your hand down, girl.
Thank you for that.
Let's go District 1.
All right, so the next item is item 16, remaining appointments to the Metropolitan Public Transportation Authority Board. And tonight, the City Council will make the city's remaining 3 appointments to the Metropolitan Transportation Board, as well as appointments for the Business Advisory Committee. And I'm going to recognize Mr. Mitchell.
Mayor and Council, thank you so much, and for the public out there, thank you for your patience. You allow us to complete a very important process, and to the City Council team for reading 145 applicants, then interviewing 27 applicants. And on last Monday, we approved 4, so tonight we have 3 that we need to appoint for a total of 7. So I'm going to ask Ms. Stephanie Kelly, can you read off the nominations to us, please?
Yes, sir. These are your votes. After ballots were submitted this afternoon, Katrina Young has been appointed. And there is a need for a raise of hands on the following 3 who received 5 votes each: Emma Allen, William Cameron Pruitt, and Corrine Mack.
I make a motion to appoint Emma Allen.
Second. All right, I heard a motion for appointing Emma Allen.
Yes.
And
Second by
was second by
Johnson.
Ms. Johnson. Okay. All right. Any other nominees?
I make a motion to support Corinne Mack.
Second.
We have Corinne Mack. And that is Mr. Graham
Second by Councilmember Brown.
and Ms. Brown.
Madam Mayor, make a motion to support Mr. Pruitt.
Second.
Mr. Pruitt. All right. We have a second on that as well.
Yes.
All right. Is there any other nomination, Madam Clerk? The 3 that we have. So it's, yes,
Just for question for clarification.
yes.
Mayor. We couldn't have moved those 3 by acclamation?
No, they didn't
versus
get
by-
6.
They didn't get 6. They all got 6. Y'all got 5. Okay.
Y'all got 5, right.
Oh, Katrina's on, so there's still 2
Katrina,
seats.
there's 2 seats left.
But we just nominated 3.
Yeah, I'm confused. I've never done
Okay.
this.
So we have
But we only had 2
3.
We had 2 seats left, just for clarification. I apologize because I had stepped away when Clerk Kelly was calling out. So we have 1 person that received 6. So was there a motion for them to be approved by acclamation?
It was not.
the process is they are automatically appointed upon
Okay,
6
so
votes.
we still have 2 seats.
That's right.
But we just received 3 nominations.
Correct.
I just wanted to clarify. Thank you.
All right. Okay. So with that,
And the names were Emma Allen, Corrine Mack, and Cameron Pruitt.
all right.
So we need to vote again now.
Yes, by show of
Yes, you're
hands.
going to by a show of hands. All right, so I don't know, Madam Clerk, you putting this together for the last 6 weeks or so. So let's see, how do we do this with, we have Ms. Mack, we have Mr. Pruitt, and Ms. Ms.
Allen.
Adams, right.
And so we do that by raise of hands.
Correct.
And each one in what order?
We can start
Alphabetical, Ms. Allen.
alphabetical.
Okay.
Okay. Emma Allen, all those voting for Emma Allen. And you were gonna
Raise your
So
hand.
raise
raise
your
your
hand.
hands.
Same 5.
So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next person would be Corinne Mack. All in favor, Corinne Mack? We have 1, 2, 3, that one. Oh, I didn't see you, Ms. Brown. Let's see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's what we have.
Any opposed?
Any opposed? No, we don't have any opposition, so we're just going to go with, and we have one more.
Seat left.
Cameron Pruitt. All in favor? I believe that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think that also.
Can we see show of hands again?
That wasn't 8, I don't think.
All right, Esmira, 1, 2, Ms. Johnson.
No, I didn't.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 instead of 8. All right, 7. 8. Is that 8?
Yes,
ma'am.
All right, we now have 8. All right, so we have, this has been a great effort, and I really want to say to the council members, thank you so much for the time and what that you've taken with this. Mr. Graham and Mr. Driggs
I think he
next.
was first. You want to go first?
So since we have one appointment still outstanding, I believe, right, not having gotten all three.
No, we
of
just
them.
did. We just appointed
Oh, we only
two.
got to 5
No.
on.
We just appointed, we got a full 7 now.
All right, so we're done.
Yes.
I missed a
Right.
hand somewhere in there. Okay.
Got 6.
Okay, Mr. Graham?
Yeah, thank you. First, I want to take the opportunity really to thank Councilmember Mitchell for his leadership and over the last several weeks in terms of really pulling us together and kind of leading the charge as well as the committee. So I first want to acknowledge that. And then secondly, I just want to reiterate the importance of tonight's action. As I said before, the PAVE Act is not perfect. We anticipated that this thing would be passed in the fall of '24, not June of this year, and that means we have a whole lot of work to be done in a short period of time. I really want to thank, Frank Emery, Todd Collins, David Howard, Jocelyn Noley, the mayor's appointment, Mr. Bowman and Long, the Alliance appointment, Dixon and Griffin, and the foundation appointment, Peter Pappas, which makes up the 12 members of the authority from the city's perspective. I've said all along, at least what was important to me is that the individuals that we select represent the interests of the city of Charlotte, that they represent the interests of the riders, that we elect leaders that can lead on day one, that they can lead a major subcommittee of the authority, they can lead the authority itself, right? That they have the time commitment to do the work, because it's going to be a lot of work right up front that they would have to do, that they support displacement policies and funding, and obviously small business utilization and minority business development. I think it's a reset from my perspective because, again, these 12 individuals now lead have our interests in terms of shaping the region from a transportation perspective moving forward, shaping priorities, policies, strategies. And when you add the appointments that Mecklenburg County will make, then we'll have our full allotment of 27 members, which is going to be extremely critical. I just hope that they all get off to a fresh start, Mr. Manager, and that, I guess my first question is, how would they be orientated and informed that they were selected by the city and now they'll be joining this big board? How does that process work, Mr. Manager?
Well, thank you, Mr. Graham. I think now that you've made the appointments, there would be great that there's some kind of welcome letter.
Okay.
Our office sends a
Yeah.
formal appointment letter that says the council has appointed you and who to contact and who they should expect to hear from for further information about moving forward. But on your behalf, we send a letter informing them of your appointment.
And they will be contacting the city of Charlotte for next steps in terms of what they do, how they do it, how they begin to be orientated?
No, I will tell you, and kudos to the team, what we are prepared to do is much like what Ed McKinney has been doing for a while, and Brent Cagle, is to provide a packet for everybody in terms of some of the documents, the payback, but as well as some of the different things that we have been putting out in the community so that they understand some of the, best way to say it, some of the ways that this was proposed to the residents of Mecklenburg County and some of the discussions that occurred over the course of this entire campaign.
Okay. And at that first meeting, they're expected to get studies. So what is the city doing to kind of get things moving in the right direction?
Yeah, so I guess earlier this fall, the MTC approved up to $500,000 for a series of studies that had to occur according to the payback of 5 different studies, and if needed, a 6th study. And what has been occurring since that approval is the different entities that are working on the studies to make sure that this is feasible. So those studies will be delivered to the authority, and the authority eventually, they're the authority studies, okay? And I see Larry up there, so I'll make sure I get this right. They're the authority studies, and those studies need to be presented to the General Assembly, I believe, by January 1st.
Okay. And all appointees have equal fitting to get things started with all the other appointees, whether it's state appointments, city appointees, county appointments. Everyone leaves the starting gate together.
Yes. I'm just saying that the appointments have been staggered, so like even the county won't make their appointments until
No, I'm talking about in terms of once the body is seated, they all kind of ready, set, go together in terms of collecting, identifying priorities, identifying leadership. None of that stuff has been predetermined.
Not that I'm aware of, no.
I'm aware of it. I believe Mr. Mitchell wanted to have a comment, and so do you.
No, I'm sorry. Councilman Graham was finished. Mayor, Council, the only thing I was going to say is a big thank you to 4 people. First, Councilmember Mayfield and Councilmember Driggs for putting up 20 hours and all the meetings and putting up with me being hyper. Thank you all for your patience, but I think we had an outstanding process. And secondly, with Liz Basson, please stand up.
Yeah.
Liz. You're going to have withdrawal symptoms now because we're not going to talk Saturday and Sunday. But City Manager, I can't tell you how much Liz was just making sure that every meeting we were thorough, we were precise, and we want to make sure that we had a process that had a lot of integrity. So Liz, thank you so much for all what you've done to make sure this day could happen.
Okay.
Thank you, Mayor.
All right. Miss Mayfield had her hand up. Miss Mayfield? Mr. Driggs?
She got 8.
Miss Mayfield?
Sorry, Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Also, I would like to thank Liz, and it was a pleasure serving along Councilmember Mitchell as well as Councilmember Driggs with this ad hoc committee, but I do also want to make sure that community understands that when the 3 of us got together and working with staff, bless you, once council helped to identify the 27 members, that was 17 hours of interviews.
Yeah.
In those 17 hours of interviews, the scoring process was 0 to 1. 0 being does not address the question, because we asked each 5 questions. 1 minimally addresses the question. 2 adequately addresses the question. Or 3 fully and effectively address the question. Now, the 3 of us then said that we will make a recommendation of 7 individuals, yet we recognize that it is up to full council to then choose the person of their choice. My challenge is, after 20-plus hours of our time to create this process and to create a scoring system, for us to have, the max you can receive was a 45. So 5 questions, up to 3 points each, max 15 times 3, that gets to the 45. We had a total of 6 individuals that actually scored a 45. We made our recommendation, then it was not our understanding or my understanding that, you know what, the categories aren't as important. So we worked to try to identify individuals based on their scoring and the categories. Yet tonight, we had individuals that scored a 40. We had individuals that scored in the high 30s, and we just appointed an individual that scored a 22. So I don't really understand why we went through the process of interviewing 17 plus hours of time, of going through a scoring mechanism based off of the questions that our colleagues presented, 22 of them, for us to break down 5 each. We would never have this opportunity again for the beginning of this creation, even though these will be 2 to 4 year terms. I hope prior, for whatever future council gets to appoint the next round of people, that a process is put in place on the front end that clearly identifies, one, is the categories that we want to ensure that we have representation, meaning we want people that actually have experience in finance, engineering, public transportation, economic development, urban planning, logistics, or not. And if there's going to be another interview process moving forward, if there's going to be a scoring mechanism, then either stick to the scoring mechanism or don't have it. Because this information, the scores should be already available to the public, but if not, it will be posted on my social media now that we've gotten through all of this. Because we talk about we want transparency, but we had individuals that scored a 9, as well as had individuals that scored a 43, a 41, a 40. And we all had access to that information. So if we're going to talk about creating a board that within a short amount of time will be overseeing more than $30 million infrastructure investment that not only impacts the city of Charlotte, but also impacts the region, that's going to help determine where small businesses may or may not grow, may or may not be displaced. And if that choice is going to be made off of relationship versus quality of work and possible contribution to this board, that's something that really needs to be taken into consideration. And it's the repeat of the financial partners conversation all over again from this summer, where I said, why are we making people go through hoops to fill out applications if only thing we're going to do is appoint our friends? There's a challenge in that model, yet I am proud of the fact that we did create a scoring, and for the choices that I had tonight, since we only had choices of those who received 2 or more votes to try to get to a consensus, I am proud of the fact that I stepped to my 30 and above scoring to ensure at least the integrity of the process that the 3 of us committed 20 plus hours to was upheld. Thank you.
All right. Dimple Lashmira.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you, Councilmember Mitchell, Mayfield, and Drakes for putting in a lot of work. I probably called James at least 6 times because we were having technical difficulties, and he was up till midnight trying to make sure everyone submitted their 27 names. So James, thank you. You're welcome. For being accessible, making sure that everyone submitted their ballots and their 27 names by the deadline. And also I want to thank Madam Clark. I know she was on the phone with us.
That's right.
She's worked over the weekends. She has been available late nights, and we couldn't have done this without her team's support throughout this. So thank you, Ms. Kelly, and your entire team. And I know that
Mr. Driggs and Ms. Mayfield, as well as Mr. Mitchell, you put in a lot of time going through all the interviews, asking questions, and taking in questions from each council member that were surveyed. We certainly appreciate it. And I'm excited about this transit authority appointments. This will be a transformational investment for our community, and I can't wait to see the results of it. So looking forward to that. Thank you.
Sure. All right, thank you. Now, we also had Mr. Driggs.
Thank you, Mayor. So, as the Chair of Transportation, Planning, and Development, I'd just like to note this is another milestone. We had the passage of the legislation, we had the referendum pass, and now we have a board. And it's one step at a time. I actually enjoyed my work in the steering committee, and Mr. Mitchell, I have to take my hat off to you. I think your leadership was extraordinary, and you navigated us through something that could have been a lot harder. So I do appreciate that. We need to understand, we traveled a long road to get here. And this goes back years, depending on when you want to actually identify the origins of it. And then there was, as you recall, engagement with the towns. They didn't want to play unless we had guarantees about the red line. The manager went out and spent $74 million and bought the red line. Okay? And that was critical. And throughout this process, there were people working on this thing, working to make it happen. I had the opportunity to see a lot of them work on it, and I think we owe a special debt to them. I don't want to start naming names, but I can tell you there are at least 10 people without whom, any one of whom, we would not be here. So as I look ahead, what I'm seeing is a very tricky process. So we're in uncharted waters here, and we have a lot of constituencies, and they have different concerns, and we're going to have to kind of collaborate in order to achieve all of the intended purposes of this. As it stands right now, we have the prospect of the authority being the entity that decides. One thing I can tell you for sure is nothing is going to happen that it has any force with the authority without a majority vote of the authority. There will be no officer appointments. There's going to be no adoption of bylaws. Nothing will happen. And so some of this is just procedural in the sense of the question was just put to the manager, okay, who notifies whom? Who writes those board packets? Whose draft of the bylaws are we going to be looking at? And they're fair questions, but just understand anything that is brought forward and is not approved by a majority of the authority won't happen. So I hope that we can all share in the desire to engage with each other constructively, identify the different interests, reconcile the interests, and move forward with the achievement of this thing and the realization of all the benefits that we expect from it. I'm excited at the prospect and at the council's continued involvement and the efforts of the authority once they all get together and they kind of, they're going to walk into a room and you'll have 27 people in that room and they're all going to be looking at each other going, now what? So, but I think they will get themselves organized, and again, they will then, based on what they heard from us as the people who appointed them, they are going to define the actions and the purpose of the authority. Thank you.
All right. Ms. Johnson.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I want to say congratulations to all the appointees. This has been a long road, but here we are, right? So I think I want to congratulate all the appointees, and I want to lift up Reverend Mack. I think it was very important that we had someone who was representing the 80,000 residents that were challenged by the plan. I don't think that there's anyone that doesn't think we need a plan, but there were important questions about displacement and small business and questions that people had challenges with. So I think it's important that we do have a strong voice that's going to continue to ask those questions, and I hope that the other 26 members, I imagine they will make the same consideration. So I'm looking forward to the next chapter and putting this behind us and on to the next big thing. Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem. One more thing, can I say? I'm sorry, last thing. Councilmember Mayfield, you mentioned the scoring, and thank you all for the committee. I would hope future councils or future committees not just base the recommendation on the scoring. I watched the interviews, and I didn't see any that lasted longer than 10 minutes. They were an average of 5 minutes. So I think that if the experience is a part of that matrix, or scoring metric, it's important that the interview be the icing on the cake and not the full consideration. Thanks.
All right, Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This is really a culmination of a generational point for our city and our region, and I'm very excited. I hear a little bit of overtone of worry, maybe, but this is really an exciting moment for us. We know that public transportation is critically important to our residents and our businesses and the growth of the region, and we've taken yet another step forward when so many thought that we weren't going to be anywhere near this step, Mr. Driggs. I've had the opportunity to work very closely with Mr. Driggs and Mr. Mitchell and others over the last couple of years on a variety of these efforts. And so I am super excited for our community that this authority has some challenging things ahead of them, but it's challenging in a good way, because overall, if they get it right, it will greatly benefit our city. I also just want to thank the selection committee as well. I tried to watch as many interviews as possible, be present for as many interviews as possible. They did not have an easy job, and I want to thank every single person who stepped up and submitted an application and had the courage to come forward to succumb themselves to an interview. And in that regard, I think we need to honor those 26 individuals who came forward to say, hey, I'd like to raise my hand to serve the community. And Mr. Chair Mitchell, I don't know if you all as a selection committee conveyed to all of the applicants that they would have a scoring mechanism and that that would be published.
I would know that.
If you didn't, I would ask that we extend them grace. Those interviews were very quick, as Ms. Johnson just said. There wasn't one that lasted more than 15 minutes. And with the grace of stepping up to say, I'd like to serve my city, I certainly don't want us to publish those scores unless we had communicated that as a part of the process that they would in fact be scored. I'm not sure if they knew that they would actually even be scored, but unless we communicated that to them, that was a part of the process, I hope we honor all 26 individuals who raised their hand and not simply put forward a score that they might not have even known that that was going to be tallied at the end. So I don't know, Madam Attorney, Ms. City Attorney, do you have a point of view on the latter statement that I just made? Because I want to make sure we're all on the same page.
Can see their interview.
So, Ms. Anderson, the scores were part of the packet. These were public appointments, and so they are public record, and could be subject to inspection if requested.
Okay. That's fine. I just wanted to personally extend my thanks to all 26 individuals who.
All right, a lot still happening here in the Charlotte City Council meeting. We're going to take a 2-minute break and we'll be back and rejoin once they're in session. Thanks for joining us again back here inside the Impact Studio. We're going to go back to this in-session meeting of the Charlotte City Council. They have some more of their docket to get through. We'll go to it now.
Related to the MPTA could be posted on board for people, or they can request the records. Everything that we do is public records. They can request that anyway, so I don't think that's a big deal. But I do want to say to the committee for doing the interviewing, for scanning through the resumes, all the credentials, that stuff is a headache. So my hat off to you guys for doing that and bringing it to us and making suggestions, even though the suggestions may not have moved forward in the manner in which you thought they would, but the teamwork with negotiating and trying to make sure that we had the best. I would like to say for the record that I am the one that said that we should have someone on the board in opposition. That was me. Yes. I brought that forward, and I do appreciate the council agreeing to that, because I remember saying specifically and clearly that there was as many people that was for it that was against it almost. And so it's always important to have that voice of opposition on the board. So I definitely want to clear that for this last council meeting, so folks know how I roll before I roll up out of here, okay? So thank you so much, and I yield back to you, Madam Mayor.
All right, Ms. Watlington.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So first, I just want to say thank you to Mr. Manager. I got you. The other town managers, the policymakers, our lobbyists, our legislators, and our commission counterparts. Because it's been a long time coming, there have been previous discussions, even back to Assistant City Manager Taiwo Jayoba, who helped lay the groundwork for what then became this plan. Thank you to the committee, Mr. Mitchell, Mr. Driggs, and Councilmember Mayfield for the time that you all put towards this process. Thank you so much to the applicants who put yourselves out to serve. And to the residents who showed up. We had a very robust discussion in regards to this referendum, and absolutely I'm pleased to have seen the differences in opinion and the level of study and engagement that we got from all sectors of our community. That's what it takes to build a better policy, is to have those community discussions. And so my hope is that we don't end here, that it's not a pack it up, we lost, let's keep it moving. I hope that everybody in this community feels like they still absolutely have an opportunity to continue to be a part of these discussions. Certainly, there will be community engagement opportunities as we continue to move forward, as these studies are executed. And absolutely, there's going to be opportunities when we talk about how this plan and this authority and this work specific to the city, because beyond the work of the authority that's overarching our city, we still got a whole lot of dollars that are coming down the pipeline for us to be able to spend. There are certainly many housing, transportation, and economic mobility conversations to be had. That work is underway. And absolutely, there are other opportunities to serve. If not on the transit authority, there are other transportation-related committees throughout the state and throughout the community that we will also be looking to make appointments for. So please, definitely, if this is a passion area for you, if you've got interest, keep showing up. We want to know you. We want to understand what's important to you. And we hope that we can place your skills and your interests with the right role. I do want to say, too, that as we think about our broader region and where we go from here, we've done a lot of landmark work over the last several years, and hats off to you, Madam Mayor, for leading this work. We got to start thinking about where do we go from here, and how do we play as the biggest city in this broader region? This is a concrete catalyst to say it's not just about how we're planning our transportation system, but it's about how do we begin to operate very specifically as a region versus just one city. So I look forward to casting that vision with you, and I look forward to our annual planning process. Thank you so much.
So this concludes our business items. Who's been?
Agenda item 17. Ma'am.
I know.
I'm sorry.
Well,
I'm sorry.
I know. I've got item 18, so we got to get that done too as well. So we're not finished yet, but I do want to say that we are going to have a closed session as well, where there'll be 2 closed session items that we're going to do. But what I was really trying to say is that now, I really appreciate all of the comments and everything that we've done in terms of mobility and the opportunities that we're creating for our community. I think that that is absolutely the very best thing that we could do to give people opportunities to have jobs and places to go and be. So the next item that we have on our agenda is that we have appointments to the Business Advisory Committee.
Oh, yeah.
Just
give it to somebody. And I will
Madam
need,
Clerk?
I will also need a raise of hands. There were only 4 votes for Nixonette Wright, and the other 2 candidates were tied with 1 each, 1 vote each. So are there?
I'll make a motion.
Yes, ma'am.
Motion for Sari Chakra to be appointed to Business Advisory Committee.
Second.
I'd like to make a motion for Ms. Wright to be appointed to the
Second.
Business Advisory Committee.
Second.
Okay. Madam Clerk, did you have that?
Yes, ma'am.
So we have a motion. All in favor, please raise your
Just,
hand.
there are only 2
No, you
people.
got 2 different names.
So just one seat, 2 people?
Yes, it's one appointment.
Okay, one appointment, then.
Madam Clerk, should we start with Ms. Nixonette, as she had the most votes?
She has 4 votes.
She had 4 votes. Okay.
Is that the most?
Right, he had 4 votes.
She had 4.
Wasn't it the most?
I called it out.
Yes, she had 4 votes, and Mr. Chakra and McLean had 1 each.
So would they even move forward because they only had 1?
These are votes.
Okay.
I think
Yes,
she
okay.
didn't have enough ballots, right?
She had 4.
I had 6 votes.
Yeah, so I think not everyone submitted their ballots. That's
Well,
what.
they did, but they did not vote in that.
Yeah, I mean, they did not vote for the Business Advisory Council.
Okay.
So I guess. We got to-
All right, so I think we need to have a motion to approve between the one with 2 votes and one with 1 vote. I mean, I'm not really sure.
We have a motion.
We have
Mr.
a
Mitchell
motion.
made the motion
Right.
for Nixonette.
Nixonette?
And I seconded.
Okay.
So it's on the floor now.
Okay, so any further conversation with this motion? All right, all in favor of the motion, please raise your
This is for
hand.
Nixonette.
For Nixonette.
Nixonette.
Yeah, this is for Nixonette.
Nixonette. All right, ready? Okay, I believe that that's a number of appropriate.
No, we have to go through
I
it.
know, we're going to go through it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Mr. Driggs, or you?
I'm afraid I'm one of the ones that missed the ballot. I don't know the
5,
individual.
6, 7, 8, 9. Did I count 9? Okay.
Who's opposed? Any
And who's
opposed?
opposed to it? Anyone opposed?
No,
So
he's
that's
opposed.
unanimous.
Okay. It's-
That's unanimous.
It's unanimous, okay.
Okay.
Wow. All right, so now we are going to
You are the opposed or you're yes?
go to council topics. This, I hope that everybody has had an opportunity to speak and had a lot of among the conversations, but now I think it's just a matter of, we're going to have council members speak, and you can choose over anything. I would suggest that we hold our comments to about 3 minutes so that we can go into the closed session with the 2 topics that we still will have on the agenda. So, who wants to start?
I will.
Brown.
Thank you so much, Madam Mayor. I just want to take this opportunity right now, this time, to thank you, the city manager, all of our staff, even the ones that are here and the ones that are not here, for all the hard work that it takes. Everybody that's listening, okay? The folks in constituent services, all the hard work it takes to run a council and to get things done. So I want to just take not even 3 minutes. I don't know how much time you gave us, but just to say thank you, my gratitude. Some days it's sunshine outside, others it's a storm and it's raging. But we've been able to get things done and make things happen for the people that we love and matter the most, and that's our constituents. So I'm leaving my time just to say thank you, because I know what it's like. People watching in think they know, you have no idea. And if you think you want to know, get your campaign together and run against these wonderful folks that do this work. But it has been an amazing running District 3. There is no voice like mine. I know that. I don't need anybody to tell me that. I am one of a kind. And I just want to say to my colleagues, it's been a joy, for the most part, to represent District 3 and to represent the people in the manner in which I came in and saying that I was going to represent them. And if you don't believe me, just ask my colleagues, because they told me I did it. All right, I yield back to you, Madam Mayor, but thank
right.
all the staff.
Ms. Watlington?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Councilmember Brown, I will co-sign that. Thank you so much. You have come in and you have led as only you can in District 3. So thank you for being passionate, thank you for being authentic, and thank you for demonstrating through storms what it means to stand on your 10 toes down and who you are. And so I appreciate you for that. And thank you for how you have helped move this city forward through your representation.
Thank you so much, Dr. Wallace. That means a lot.
Absolutely. The only other comment I have is Happy Indigenous People Day. It's coming this week. So
Oh, nice.
you enjoy your holiday.
Ms. Mayfield?
Earlier, I think September, I sent an email that I copied you as well as Interim Attorney Fox on. As we are getting ready to swear in a new council, I asked for us to look into an update in our ethics policy for there to be more clarity in the ethics policy moving forward for not only this council, but for new members coming in and all future councils, since we have put a lot of energy and emphasis on transparency and the desire to be as transparent as possible, making sure that if we have any business dealings, if we have any real estate that's within the city, that is fully disclosed, so that we sitting around this dais are not potentially financially benefiting on the decisions that we are making regarding where investments are going, when we identify opportunity corridors of opportunity or areas, pre-planning for investment for any members to, or their family members to help purchase or attempting to purchase property in those areas for their personal business growth versus identifying, which you and I have done with looking at properties to identify, to see if our partners could get access to them to try to control affordability in our community. So I have not received an email update, which I was hoping prior to our new attorney coming in full time. I know our interim attorney, Attorney Fox, is working on it, but before we move forward and swear in new council, I would like to have a response to the update for our ethics policy moving forward so that we can all be on the same page and be very clear about expectations as well as expectation of disclosure. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Peacock?
No report, Madam.
I think you probably had a few reports somewhere along the way this time, but thank you for that. Mr. Driggs, anything?
Mr. Manager and staff, these are bumpy times. We're playing for very high stakes. I just encourage you to hang in there. I appreciate you.
Mr. Graham?
Report.
Mayor Pro Tem?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. First, I just want to thank the community as well as staff and the city manager on how we handled something that was very much unexpected over the last week to 2 weeks in our communities, with a high concentration on East Charlotte and South Charlotte, but eventually permeating out throughout all of various communities throughout Charlotte. And we as a community stood together. We supported our neighbors. We did a great job of exercising our First Amendment right, but being lawful and executing through that surge. And just very proud of staff, very proud, some very late nights, very early mornings, very proud of our community members and everything that they've done. And it's a shame because in the wake of that, we've had such really good news earlier in that week around economic vibrancy and having, companies like Scout bring their U.S. headquarters to Plaza Midwood, bringing 1,200 good-paying jobs, having new companies like Maersk and Pacific Life say they're going to bring their East Coast headquarters here, their national headquarters here, bringing good-paying jobs and bringing an opportunity for the community to continue with the economic vibrancy as well as social vibrancy as well. All three of these companies lean into community, and they encourage their employees to do the same, to get involved in the community. So really great news around what we're doing as a city and as a region to attract good-paying jobs and to expand opportunities for our residents. And I just wanted to lift that up in the wake of such a heavy moment for our community and say thank you to the community and staff for everything you've done over the last 2 weeks. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Smudgy Mitchell.
Thank you, Mayor. So I want to give a praise report to this council. 2 years ago, we started on a journey of a landfill was about to be built near a community. And I think it was the second meeting, December, Councilmember Mayfield joined me with 200 angry citizens. Then Allison Craig then was in charge of planning. We quickly put landfill in its own separate category. And so tonight I would tell you all, now that landfill has gone away, and we will see a single-family rezoning petition for that community. Lastly, what goes on in Salt Lake City stays in Salt Lake City.
What Salt Lake City?
What? No. You don't get away with that.
So
That's right, Mayor, you should have been with us.
on a serious note, December 2nd, all our applications need to be in to serve on boards and commission. So all my colleagues, I'm going to be pestering you to get your application in December 2nd. And last but not least, everyone have a happy Thanksgiving. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you so much.
All right, Ms. Johnson.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just have a few things. I hope our next council, we can take a look at reducing the number of council members that it's required to put something on the agenda. Currently, if the public doesn't know, it takes 6 council members to get something on the agenda, and some would consider that a vote before the vote. So I hope that we can really take a look. I know with the new council coming in, hopefully, even with our public speakers, with issues like items like bicycle funding and more funding for the animal control. We know how long that took. I think council members, our voice should be heard more, so I hope we can do that. Secondly, this was a tough week for immigration. You all know I've hosted reentry simulations. I would love to have an immigration simulation, if we can take a look at that, so that people understand the barriers to immigration and getting legal citizenship. I think it's a process that I know I can learn a lot more about. It can take years, so I think if more people understood and empathized with the process, then you would have, more understanding and empathy. So we can talk about it, but I'd love to do something like that. And then lastly, I want to thank the council members who are leaving, Mr. Peacock, Ms. Molina, and Councilwoman Tijuana Brown. It has been an honor to serve with all of you. Your voice will be missed. And also, Councilmember Molina, I think we should give her a shout out because it took courage. It took courage not to participate in tonight's vote, and she had the option. She stood on her recusal. So it's just been an honor, and we'll stay in touch, but thank you. The West Side and District 3 has truly benefited from your voice. So
West Side is the best side, girl.
Thank you.
Ms. Ajmir. Thank you, Madam Mayor. First, I want to wish you all a happy Thanksgiving. I hope you all relax and reconnect. Second, I want to thank council and staff, especially Sean Heath. He has worked 24/7 this past week to get the assistance out to impacted communities. I think he deserves a big hand. Mr. Heath reached out to all the impacted communities. He reached out to organizations in record time, and he found a way to support some of our most impacted communities. And many of these families are American citizens, and green card holders who pay taxes that's been affected. So I appreciate the work that the committee has done to support these impacted communities, our businesses. So thank you, Mr. Heath, for your leadership. We are so grateful that you are part of Team Charlotte. We need more like you. And I also want to thank our colleagues, Mr. Peacock, Councilmember Brown, and Councilmember Molina. You know, after you start serving on the Charlotte City Council, you develop a level of respect for your colleagues, regardless of whether you agree with them or not, because it takes tremendous sacrifices to serve in this capacity. So thank you all for your sacrifices to serve this community. It does not go unnoticed. So thank you. I also want to welcome the new council members. I know we had Councilmember J.D. Masra Arias here earlier, as well as Kimberly Owens. She's still with us. And Councilmember-elect Jory Mayo. I look forward to working with you all. Okay. And lastly, I agree with Councilmember Johnson about immigration simulation. We actually did that exercise 5 years ago when we were working on Immigration Compass. And I thought that was a great way for people to understand the immigration process, how complex it is, and how broken it is. So I think it would be a great way for us to engage the community and help them understand the challenges that our immigrant community is facing, not just with the naturalization process, but just the whole immigration system. And I know when Frederico was with the City of Charlotte, he did help us with that. But I'm sure that his successor can continue with that simulation to ensure that our community understands the complexity behind the whole immigration. Our family, it took 15 years for our family to immigrate here. And you had to go through multiple hurdles to come to America. So I think people don't realize how complex it is, and sometimes, unfortunately, immigrant communities are being used to score political points. And I think we need to do our part to ensure that we are putting out the right information and help people learn more about the whole system. Thank you.
Okay. I want to say thank you, guys. You did really great. I think, again, we're going to say this goodbye to Ms. Brown. Love having you. You've just been really great. And then all of, with Melina, I spoke with her this morning, and she's got had some great news. I don't know if I'm supposed to actually say, but her daughter got into Savannah School of Art and Design. Which I think is an exceptional gift to have. So that's really good. And so if you're watching this, I hope that you understand how proud we are of what you've done and with your family. So now, can we go right ahead to go into the closed session?
Don't we need a motion?
We have to have the attorney give us a motion, and we'll go into the closed session.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The motion to go into closed session is pursuant to NCGS 143.
All right, folks, we're going to go to a break as they go to closed session. We'll be back in 2 minutes. All right, we are back, people. Obviously, tomorrow, a big holiday travel day. Other folks probably will leave on other days as well, but it's going to be a record by AAA, whether you fly or you have to drive. You're going to be accompanied by many others out on the roads. We're going to listen to Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy talk about that update now.
For a while. No, you don't. Always our great administrator. I want to talk about our holiday travel coming up. We're going to have a busy road, rail, and air as we come into this Thanksgiving season. Just want to run through some of the numbers that we're seeing and what we expect as we look forward to the next week of travel. So by car per AAA, we anticipate seeing 73 million Americans hitting the road this Thanksgiving season. We anticipate the busiest travel on the road in the afternoon of this coming Tuesday, Wednesday, and Sunday. So if you're planning your travel, think about when you depart, because the afternoons of those days are going to be busier than the rest. This travel season by car, we have incredible gas prices, on average 3.2 cents a gallon. So if you're going to travel by car, you're going to be able to put gas in your vehicle at a very affordable price. On top of that, if you're flying and you need to rent a car domestically, our car rental prices are down by 15%. So it feels very good where we sit with the president's economy and what he's done with regard to his energy independence push and energy dominance push. In regard to rail, we anticipate there will be 1.2 million passengers this year by rail, a very big number. In regard to air travel, this is going to be the busiest Thanksgiving that we have on record. And I think you all might note that it seems like every Thanksgiving, every Christmas, every 4th of July seems to be an announcement of record travel. I'm going to come to that in a second. But this week there'll be 31 million passengers flying by air as we look to the week. That's per the airline industry. Tomorrow will be the busiest day. There'll be 52,000 flights tomorrow as Americans board aircraft, fly across the country. Maybe they're going to go to sporting events, they're going on vacation, or hopefully they're going to spend time with their families. Now, we anticipate there's going to be solid staffing in our towers and TRACONs and centers throughout the airspace. And that's different than what we had over the shutdown. But we do have some weather in the forecast. I'm not a weatherman, but if you look out to the Seattle area, in the Midwest, the Great Lakes, we are going to have some weather. And so if you are traveling by air, I would just ask that you stay in touch with your airline or update your apps so you know if your flight has been delayed or moved at all as you're planning to come to the airport. Always great to stay in touch with the airline that you've booked with. Just real quick, I want to touch on a couple of other issues. During the shutdown, 44 very long days. It went pretty well at the start of the shutdown, but in the last couple of weeks of the shutdown, things became very challenging in the airspace. Many of you reported on it. We had significant delays and cancellations. The administrator, in consultation with DOT and his safety team, we took historic action to reduce the capacity in the airspace because of what we saw in the staffing in our towers. And that decision was not made lightly, but it was based on the stats that we were seeing and what we thought was appropriate to maintain a safe airspace. You've also heard that the president announced that we should reward those great air traffic controllers who didn't miss a beat. They never missed a day. And so Administrator Bedford and I announced last week that we are giving $10,000 bonuses to the air traffic controllers who didn't miss a day and the technicians. You don't report on the technicians a lot, but the technicians are the ones that come into our facilities and make sure that some of our very old equipment is actually operational. And if they don't come to work, we don't have equipment that works, you can have all the air traffic controllers you want in the tower or TRACON, you're not going to be able to control the airspace because the equipment is down. And so those two working together made sure that we had a very functioning and safe airspace. So at the president's lead, we decided we would give them a $10,000 bonus, a reward for their great action during the shutdown. I mentioned that this is the most historic travel Thanksgiving we've had, the busiest one. And I don't know if you all know this, but here at Newark, there's a lot of press at Newark by what happened in the spring. We had 2 outages, 30 seconds each, and then the radar had a reboot. So we didn't have radar in this facility at this airport for a minute and a half. And it was troubling for everybody. And this team, DOT and FAA, worked with the CEOs of the companies that provide services to us, and we very quickly remedied the problem. And so now for the New York traveling area, so JFK and LaGuardia, this is the most on-time airport that you have in the New York airspace. That's the kind of dedication and devotion and speed at which the Trump administration, the FAA, and the DOT are working to fix the problems that we face in the airspace. And I think it's important, again, the busiest Thanksgiving, we're going to have a busy Christmas, and as it gets busier, it underscores the point that we need a brand new air traffic control system. Again, we're going to add these eVTOLs, the Ubers in the air, and we have drones that come into the airspace. And so to sit back and think that we're going to not have more delays or more cancellations if we don't build a new system is asinine. So in the big, beautiful bill, we got $12.5 billion to start the process. We need another $19 to $20 billion to complete the process. We can't start that phase of the build until the Congress gives us the money. So we wait. And the longer we wait, the more time it takes. And so I would just encourage all of our House members and senators to look at what the FAA needs to build this system the right way that Americans can be proud of and send that money to us. And a lot of us have talked about politics, and there's a lot of blame that's sent one way or the other. This is an issue that everybody agrees on. It's not Republican, it's not Democrat, it's not conservative, it's not liberal. Everybody agrees that we need the money to make sure we have the best-in-class air traffic control system. And so I would encourage the Congress to get to work and find that money, and I know when they do, the president's going to sign that bill. But I bring that up because if we want to have less stories about delays and shutdowns, let's actually do the work to fix the system that oftentimes is causing those delays and those cancellations, and that is building a brand new system.
All right, folks, that's our 7 to 9 news show here on WCNC Plus. We'll be back with the latest for you at 11 on WCNC Charlotte.